Our 5th year has been a success. As Brian said, we're monitoring changes in Lower Great Miami, educating the public. We're joining Green Umbrella. One of the most amazing things that's happening this year is the Great Miami has been leading with Butler County Stream Team to develop 4 water quality groups under one umbrella, the Green Umbrella. And we're going to have a tremendous website that's being generated by Davy Tree Company. It's going to include the Great Miami, the Mill Creek, Little Miami, and the Butler County Stream Team. 75 sites in Butler County, about 78, 75, 76 here, 45 in the Mill Creek, and another 75 or 80 in the Little Miami. We're going to have almost 300 sites sampled monthly with our 6 water quality parameters available with our ranking system so that we can begin to look at changes temporally and spatially on sub-watershed basin basis. It's going to be an amazing piece. It will probably be the most comprehensive monitoring network in the country for a major metropolitan area, and we're it. So we are absolutely delighted. 2 of us were trying to get level 2 and get a QAP, a quality assurance program from the state. 2 of us have gotten trained as water quality managers, and Brian is already one. And we've gotten all of the 4 water quality groups have got personnel now. We're all moving simultaneously. We've got groups meeting more than monthly now to develop the QAPs. We're meeting on our ranking system, and we're progressing to make this unified volunteer water quality monitoring network. And of course, down number 6, Brian's going to talk about it. We're working with Hamilton County Soil and Water to look at the impact of cover crops on Howard's Creek to avoid or reduce nutrient input. So, well, we've got our funders, which Brian mentioned, and I'm just going to continue. Our goals for the future: level 2 credible data plan. The state really doesn't want to give those out, and they've changed leadership recently. We're creating QAPs. We're going to get more QHEI work. We'd love to get our habitat quality evaluated with an iPhone type app that we hope Northern Kentucky University is generating. We're looking at this GIS study to relate QHEI and other things to our water quality. James Gleason from the University of Cincinnati has generated the land area for all of our sub-watersheds above every sampling point in all 3 watersheds. So we actually have those data. We want to initiate a watershed action plan for the Lower Great Miami as a long-term plan as well. We have watershed action plans now on the Lower Mill Creek and on the Upper Mill Creek, courtesy of OKI and the Mill Creek Council of Communities, and we've got a watershed action plan on Little Miami. We don't have any on the Great Miami. Watershed action plans get you into the 319A money, Green Ohio money, and other with higher priority, and get us a step closer. We'd love to get a watershed coordinator, but the state has dumped the funding. New equipment: we've got a new autoclave courtesy of JFU Foundation for sterilization. We got a new Hawk incubator, a bacterial membrane filter dispenser, and new TPA, total phosphorus oxidizers from our OEPA, OEEF educational grant, which is good. And from Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation, we got a new spectrophotometer as well. So we've got state-of-the-art equipment now for our progression into better data. Of course, I have to give profound thanks to the University of Cincinnati, with which I do not work anymore, but for the use of this center. For every one of these water quality groups, the most important thing that we couldn't afford is this space. And for them to give us space for storage and the operation of a brand new lab up here, the car for our analyses, we couldn't exist. And they don't charge us a penny. And of course, I want to thank all of our volunteers here for those 9 sample dates. We have more samples that are sampled on 9 dates a year, which is our sample season, than any other water quality group. Our folks are out there. Lisa's got you working. Well, we got our water quality parameters that you talked about. They're new this year are optical brighteners and in vivo chlorophyll. Neither of these are going to be meet the standards for a state assay because they're indicative. In vivo chlorophyll is putting a UV light into a blue light into a water sample and looking at the reflection of red from the chlorophyll in the water. But the chlorophyll is in algal cells, and to do a real chlorophyll, the algal cells have to be disrupted and the chlorophyll put into solution. So this is a minimum chlorophyll. It is not the maximum. The real chlorophyll could be 120 to 200% higher than what we actually measure. What our parameters give us insight into eutrophication and sewage. On the left side over there under eutrophication, we get our total phosphorus and nitrogen. These are the critical elements. We need 1 part phosphorus and about 14 parts nitrogen to make an algal cell, 1 to 10. And that leads to the algae growing, and we're measuring that with chlorophyll. And Brian mentioned turbidity and showed you muddy samples from high water. We haven't had high water problems. Our problem is turbidity in the summer from algal cells. The algal cells get so dense the water becomes turbid and you can't see into the water more than about 10 centimeters, whereas 1 meter or better would be ideal. But the turbidity is from the algal biomass. And the algae then increase the pH. Anything over about 8.3 is generated by algal photosynthesis. The algae are short CO2 and they use carbonic anhydrase. It takes water out of a bicarbonate and gives them a CO2, but it also produces an OH, which increases the pH. So severe photosynthesis increases pH. So pH is an indicator of primary production. Conductivity over here for pollution, our 3 indicators are conductivity. You saw Brian's figure, anything over about 600 is enriched in our area. So anything over 600, and we routinely get values of 900 or even 1,000. Raw sewage, or treated sewage comes out about 1,500 microsiemens. E. coli, human fecal, 6 species, they come out of our feces. They come out of other warm-blooded animals, but when we see them in high proportion, they're from us. Optical whiteners and raw domestic sewage means inoperable septic systems. Most of the sewage plants take it out, so what we're using the fluorescence of optical whiteners for is to determine whether we've got septic problems. And low pH might indicate anaerobic conditions from decomposition in raw sewage, but we don't have any low pH sites at all. So the Great Miami watershed, 2.8 million people. You can see it's 61% crops. Row crop agriculture is the biggest use. Deciduous forests a little bit, scrub a little bit, but it's development. You can see that the percent of developed open space, low development, medium development, high development. That's 7, 8, 9%. It's not excessive for the entire watershed. But that's what we live in. Here's our tributaries that we're monitoring from upriver, Banquet Creek, Indian Creek, Dry Run, Dunlap. We got a few outliers. Owl Creek, we only have a few samples from that. Dry Run isn't being sampled right now. Dry Fork Creek and Howard's Creek. We're on Howard's Creek right here. We come into Dry Fork, which goes into the Whitewater River. Taylor Creek is the big urbanized creek coming in from Cincinnati with Wesselman Creek, and Hutchinson Creek, which of course made history by the Hampton Land Trust because they stopped a shopping mall with volunteer data. It was a real effort in community action. And finally, it goes into the Ohio River. The Oxbow sits over here. They're one of our funders. They bought our fluorometer for us this year. What we've done that's novel, starting last year, is this kind of ranking system. We decided we'd come up with a way of ranking so that we didn't have to know what all the parameters meant to understand what's happening to the water. 1 was good and 5 was bad. So 1 is low conductivity, low turbidity, pH around 7, it's really less than 0.06 milligrams per liter phosphorus that Brian introduced, a half a milligram of nitrate, colony forming units less than 298, which should be the 1-day exposure, and we go up from there to 4. Here's 800 microsiemens, up from that 600, 800 turbidity, moving up. pH moving up. Once we get to 8.4, we know we're in definite photosynthetic range, hypereutrophic. We've had pHs as high as 9. Phosphorus over 0.3, we begin to see a lot of degradation, and that's our target for urban streams. We ought to be down here, though, for most of our streams. Nitrate going up to 10. 10 is a drinking water hazard for human health, and it's terminal eutrophication. Remember our target's about 1. And E. coli 1030, and you can't canoe in it. So this is the canoeing level. And we've given them color codes. Excellent is blue, good is green, fair is yellow, red is poor, very poor. I've got them here. Here's our blue, green, yellow, red, and black going down so you can refresh yourself as to what they need. What we've done is here's start at the top with Banklick Creek, which flows directly into the river coming off of the Rumpke dump, and it's got a problem with conductivity. Conductivities are well over 1,000, and presumably this is seepage coming through the dike at Rumpke that's coming in up at Banklick Road, which is the highest, which is right below the dump site. So we do have some indication that Rumpke is there. Now the only reason this is really important is that this area right here, where where's Banklick come in? It should be right anyway. Where it comes in is the Bolton Wellfield, and the Bolton Wellfield has wells on both sides of Banklick Creek. So if an event comes down from Rumpke Dump, it could potentially get into the cone of depression in the summertime around our 10 wells that take out about 30 million gallons a day out of the Great Miami River watershed for Cincinnati water. So this is worth noting. The condition of the waters, though, are green, which is in the 2 to 3 range for all 3 sites, so it's good at the moment. The mouth of Indian Creek, you notice is mostly row crop and deciduous forest and grass. Here's Indian Creek coming out here with a pit beside it. There's not a whole lot to, let's see what it comes out blue. It's excellent water quality in our system. Dunlap Run, you'll notice that most of this is deciduous forest. It should be fairly good. The conductivity is a little high, but nitrate, phosphorus is, it's negative on the day we did it. The E. coli, non-existent. So it's a beautiful, excellent creek. We love those beautiful, excellent creeks. Blue Rock Creek flows in at the Blue Rock Bridge and comes down through. You can notice that some conductivities are high up here, 1400, as you come down river, and there's a fair amount of blue magic whiteners in this one as well. And what does it tell us? Well, it meets good water quality. Patty's Run is getting a lot of attention right now. The Nature Conservancy just bought 330 acres. They're trying to restore it for an all preserve. So is it improving? Well, it's in pretty good shape, 2.1. It's just almost exceptional, and probably will get there despite its history. Wesselman Creek, which flows into Taylor Creek, comes out of a forest, but impervious, open, and low development is 60% of the land surface. So it's got a lot of development on it. Conductivity's moderately high, but it does meet the good category 2.1 to 2.3 in 2014. This is a year of good water.